Hey everybody, thanks for coming back and joining me at the Pines in Madison, Maine. How beautiful it is, right? You see, my grandpa was Indian, and my other grandpa was the settler of land, and another grandpa, Thomas Howes, love you. Rest in peace, Grandpa. Thanks for being the founder of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and branching us Howes family to settle the land. You see all this right here? How peaceful it is, right? Look at all this Mother Nature. And then you see the roadway where all those big boulders are, because the government just can't contain themselves. They think they have to have everything, and they forget that there's a constitution that was meant for we the people. That means me and you. So why is it that the government has all this land and we're told that we have to leave here by dusk? Are you fucking kidding me? There are the minerals. Those are healing agents that arise throughout the night. And that would probably be why the government doesn't want us near the water. It's not because they care if we drown. We're like fish. We have natural instincts. If we're going to sink, we're going to sink. But most of us are pretty well off and we can swim. How about that? The rest of you that can't, well, it seems to me like you'd be pretty intelligent enough to not go to the water if you can't swim, right? I mean, come on now. So why is it that you can't understand that the government works for us? We don't work for them. It says so in the Constitution, right? That we, the people, govern this land. So why is it that we, the people, have let this land slip into the wrong hands and be abandoned? And then they turn around and take our homes from us and destroy our families and say, like for me, for instance, they said, I abandoned my children. The fuck are you talking about? Then they say I abandoned my house. No, the fuck I did not. I went to find my daughter that was sex trafficked out of the state of Maine and found in Florida. I didn't abandon my home. And I surely didn't abandon my God, Mother Nature, as I traveled with Jesus and found my daughter, who went missing after being exposed to people in this area. Anson Madison, that would be Gordon Obert Jr., who put my daughter on a bus. And before he did that, knowing how sick she was and had been in the hospital for a long time, months, and I asked him to watch over her because she was sick, and I had to make sure that the plumbing was put into my house because I was fixing to live off grid. But instead, he sent her on a bus, came up and told me how he had first sent her to somebody's house up by the wire bridge. So I want you all to pay attention to this. Find out who Deanna Crisco Johnson's son is. He lives up by the wire bridge, apparently, and he was with this girl. And then another son of hers apparently went up there. And then Gordon made up this story about my daughter acting out and that she had to leave there. So I went to pick my daughter up, and Gordon had her all fucked up on drugs, and she didn't want to go. I'm not talking drugs like dope, illegal drugs. I'm talking they slipped her something. And I'm pretty sure it's verifiable, so don't mess with me on that, and don't tell me I'm defaming anybody, okay? Because records prove there was no reason for my daughter to go into disappearance. And when that happened, it was a year ago, September 7th, that Gordon Obert came up to my house in North Anson, Maine, at 383 North New Portland Road, and told me that he could make flags out of these poles for me as he's digging through my property, right? Oh. Gordon, where's my daughter? Oh, she wanted to go. She wanted to leave. Get all hyper. When Gordon gets hyper like that, it's because he's got something to hide. So that leads back to Gordon works for the fire department, Anson, okay? And he used to work for Madison Paper. So he knows everybody that takes this land from us. And so he knows everybody that burns down homes on us. He knows everybody covers his ass. Well, when I was a young girl, I remember him sexually flaunting himself in front of my sister. And I remember not long after I turned of age, he tried flaunting himself to me when my daughter Kiana was just a baby. Okay? And he's got ex-girlfriends that can tell you the same thing. He's also got an ex-wife that can tell you the same thing about his frivolous, malicious acts in sexuality. So why is it, Gordon Obert, that my daughter went missing? And I'm going to wrap this end up by telling you she was found from Waterville on the bus where Gordon dropped her off in Deanna to get rid of her in Boston at a medical center. So if she wasn't sick and in need of medical care, why the fuck was she in the hospital, Gordon?